Has like the new model of like Netflix and Hulu and all that, has that changed like the industry in any way or no?
I think it's changed things in some ways for the better for the audience. Box office started to get greedy. So you got to either have a movie that make $1 billion or they don't even really want to talk to you. So that's what Hollywood started to just get franchise crazy.
I have a question.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds. How's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
That I'm not part of the club. And a lot of you listening to me right here, right now, you're not part of the club either.
Ice Cube has never been one to shy away from speaking his mind, and his latest revelation about Ryan Reynolds has sent shockwaves through Hollywood. In a recent interview, the rap legend turned actor hinted that Reynolds might be facing cancellation in the entertainment industry, sparking speculation about what could be unfolding behind the scenes. While Reynolds is known for his charismatic persona and blockbuster films, Ice Cube suggests that there's more to the story, something that Hollywood insiders might not want the public to know.
Ryan Reynolds just had the biggest movie of his career, but when it comes to one big follow-up he was asked to make for it, he said he's out. Ryan Reynolds doing Deadpool and Wolverine had the second most successful movie this year behind Inside Out 2, which made $1.3 billion on a budget of $200 million. After the movie, Ryan Reynolds announced he was going to be working with Hugh Jackman on another movie that wasn't related to Marvel but would be a comedy film. Recently, Ryan Reynolds was asked if he'd be interested in hosting the Oscars after an online petition was set up for them to be the dual host. Finding a host for the Oscars has been difficult since 2019 when Kevin Hart was fired as the host because he was called anti-transgender. He made a tweet saying he'd break his daughter's dollhouse if he found his son playing with him because that was called anti-transgender and the Oscars went 2 years without a host. Ryan Reynolds did address the question about the Oscars, saying he doesn't really watch them because they don't really appreciate comedy or action movies. One big example being the Nutty Professor movie, which made $274 million on a budget of $54 million, but Eddie Murphy wasn't nominated for an Oscar and Ryan Reynolds said he should have been. Any feeling for Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman host, it's just the Oscars making a cash grab on a popular movie they won't nominate for anything. Ryan Reynolds addressed this saying he appreciates the thought, but it's going to be a no. For what it's worth, hosting is also an unpaid gig, and with that I'm Charles Pross. Subscribe to learn something.
Cube has been vocal about his challenges within the Hollywood system, attributing them to his refusal to conform to what he describes as an elitist club of industry gatekeepers. In a video posted in June 2023, he stated, "I'm not part of the club. I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all got to deal with."
That I'm not part of the club. And a lot of you listening to me right here, right now, you're not part of the club either. And what I realized with the club is what makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of their club. That pisses them off. What club am I talking about? I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all got to deal with. You know who they are, and they definitely know who they are. A lot of people be like, what? Who? Come on, man, stop playing. So, ever since I put out the contract with Black America, you know they've been with me. Here and there, this and that. But it's cool, you know. I expect that. You know, I've been working with, on the big three for a long time. And you know how they've been with me with that. I done made it, plain, simple, and clear what they've been doing, the NBA been with us. Now, a lot of people might say, like, well, but Cube, you want to work with the NBA. Really, I don't give a fuck about working with the NBA. What I want them to do, when I say work with us, is to stop working against us. Stop doing that bullshit behind the scenes that we know you're doing. Mainstream media, they ain't with us. And that's cool. We can do it ourselves, you know what I'm saying? We still on the rise without these so.
Cube claims that celebrities like Ryan Reynolds are trying to dominate the entertainment industry, particularly limiting opportunities for black artists. He argues that powerful figures manipulate the system to maintain control, making it harder for black talent to thrive. According to Ice Cube, this control restricts diversity and creativity, keeping certain artists from reaching their full potential. He emphasizes the need for fairness and equal opportunities in the industry.
What platforms have banned you?
I've been I tried to go on The View. They didn't have me on The View.
Why?
Well, a few of the guests just really didn't like where I was coming from. So, or a few of the hosts, I mean. So that's what I was told by the producers. I don't know if the producers was just copping out and using some of the hosts to not have me come on and explain myself, but I've been excluded. I've been excluded on Oprah,
On Oprah?
On Oprah, yeah, I've been excluded. Yeah, man.
I would think you'd be the person Oprah would want to promote. I mean, you grew up in South Central, you were successful at a young age, you have dignity, you say what you think. Like, I thought that was the goal.
Me too. I don't know what it is, but, several of my, I had a movie called Barbershop,
Yeah, I remember.
That I wasn't invited to participate with the cast. I produced a show called Black White, and it was a very controversial show. And once again, they had the whole cast on, but I wasn't invited.
The rapper also mentioned that he was excluded from other events throughout his career, including the reunion for his movie Barbershop on Oprah's show and the cast reunion for his show Black White. Ice Cube expressed his frustration, saying that despite his contributions to these projects, he was not invited to participate in the reunions.
Right-wing extremism and whataboutism.
But I've been shut out. Some platforms will not have me on.
Why?
They don't like that I'm, an independent thinker. I'm not part of the herd. I'm not part of the go along to get along gang, so to speak. So, I'm an outsider. And so, I'm not part of the club.
Ice Cube is shaking up the gatekeeper just by making appearances with Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, Piers Morgan. He's having an impact. He's normalizing a behavior of, hey, let me go sit down and talk with anyone and reject the programming that I can only talk with who corporate media, the Democratic Party, Democratic politicians, and social media tell me I can talk with.
Ryan Reynolds has recently faced multiple allegations concerning his behavior towards colleagues in the entertainment industry. In January 2025, actor TJ Miller, who co-starred with Reynolds in the Deadpool films, recounted a distressing experience during filming. Miller claimed that Reynolds, while in character, was horrifically mean to him, stating, "You know what's great about you, Weasel? You're not the star, but you do just enough exposition that it's funny and then we can leave and get back to the real movie."
Would I work with him again? No. I sort of wish him well because he's so good at Deadpool, and I think it's weird that he hates me.
Do you know he hates
We
you?
had a really weird moment on Deadpool where he said, let's do one more take. And then as the character, he was like horrifically mean to me, but to me, as if I'm Weasel. So he was like, you know what's great about you, Weasel? You're not the star. You do just enough exposition that is funny, and then we can leave and get back to the real movie.
So he's riffing.
I just kind of listened and thought it was weird, and then I got off stage and I walked over, and the whole crew was acting weird. And then I went up to Kate, and I was like, that was weird, right? And she was like, of course it was weird. It was insane. Everybody was like, why is Ryan doing this? And the other weird thing is like, I think he's kind of an insecure dude. His Twitter bio is showing you the parts of me that tested the best in focus groups. And I'm not sure that he's joking. I think that Ryan Reynolds, Kate thinks Kate thinks he's super frenemy with me, or even just that he hates me. I could see him hating me. But I said on Hot Ones, I went on Hot Ones and I said that, what was great about Deadpool is they covered up his handsome face. because he's so distracting. He must know this, but it's so distracting to look at him, and guys don't want to laugh at him because he looks like the guy that fucked your high school girlfriend. And then girls don't really want to laugh at him. They just think he's cute, so they'll just look at him. Like Ryan Gosling. Girls don't care if he is talking or acting.
Accurate.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So I think, but he's such a good comedian that when you cover his face, he's so quick, he's so funny. So I love him as a comedian.
Further scrutiny arose from Reynolds' involvement in a legal dispute between his wife, Blake Lively, and director Justin Baldoni. Lively accused Baldoni of sexual harassment and creating a hostile work environment during the production of It Ends With Us. In response, Baldoni filed a lawsuit alleging defamation and extortion by Lively and Reynolds. He described a traumatic encounter where Reynolds aggressively confronted him over alleged comments about Lively, leading to significant emotional distress.
Ryan Reynolds is backing his wife Blake Lively 100%, but his claims on Justin Baldoni are being proved false, where Justin Baldoni just exposed him. And in 2024, doing the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds introduced the character of Nice Pool, saying it was his own creation. The character of Nice Pool had one interesting line where he was talking about the character Lady Deadpool, which was voiced by Blake Lively, saying she just had a baby but still looks good. And because of that, Blake Lively's It Ends With Us co-star Justin Baldoni has come out saying the character of Nice Pool was created just to make fun of him, and that line was used to bring up the idea that Justin Baldoni was critical of Blake Lively's post-pregnancy weight. Since that movie came out, nobody's been celebrating despite it making $351 million, with Blake Lively suing Justin Baldoni for sexual harassment and Ryan Reynolds supporting her. Now Justin Baldoni has come out against Ryan Reynolds, pointing out that Ryan Reynolds actually liked him throughout the entire process of filming, and even texted Justin Baldoni at one point saying, "I just happen to adore you." Justin Baldoni's claim is that Ryan Reynolds actually loved Baldoni until Ryan Reynolds wanted to take over and do a rewrite of the script, which he wouldn't allow, and then after that point Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds turned on him. Because that, Justin Baldoni is suing Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds for $400 million, and with that I'm Charles Paul, please subscribe to learn.
Baldoni filed a countersuit, accusing Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, of defamation and attempting to damage his career. This legal back and forth has not only captivated the public, but also sparked discussions about workplace ethics, power dynamics in the entertainment industry, and the challenges faced by individuals who come forward with allegations against prominent figures.
Justin Baldoni is now involving Taylor Swift in his lawsuit against Blake Lively. So Justin Baldoni is suing Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and their publicists for over $400 million for all the It Ends With Us drama. Now he's name dropping Taylor Swift, Blake's bestie, in the mix. Thankfully, Taylor Swift is not being sued, but she's mentioned in his 179-page paper complaint, and he's alleging that Taylor's fame was used to pressure him during production. And it really all stems from this penthouse situation where Blake and Ryan live. Apparently there was a meeting there with all of them, and Taylor Swift was actually present, and Blake ended up rewriting one of the scenes. And even after the meeting was over, Baldoni texted Blake this, saying, "I gotta put my glasses on for this one, the font is too small. Also was working on the rooftop scene today. Really love what you did."
This was a sinister PR move. Blake Lively then moved 11 days later to file a lawsuit. So now she has filed a lawsuit, and I don't think she ever wanted to do this. I think she genuinely wanted this to be a PR move, and she wanted to leak it to the New York Times. She thought the public would take her side with no questions asked, and instead the public is saying, no, we have a few questions here. And Justin Baldoni is going all the way to the wall on this. His lawyer is already giving interviews explaining just how nasty her team has played this. The lawyer's name is Brian Friedman. He stopped by the Megyn Kelly show, and here's some of the things that he had to say. First, he says there used to never be a sexual claim. There never was a sexual claim until she went to that civil rights office. Take a listen.
There was actually no allegation of sexual harassment until the lawsuit was filed.
The case took an unexpected turn when Baldoni countersued both Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, for a staggering $400 million. But what truly shocked fans was Baldoni's decision to pull Swift into the legal mess. According to court documents, Baldoni alleged that Lively used Swift to exert pressure during a contentious meeting with Reynolds regarding script edits for a rooftop scene.
We're going to be talking all things Blake Lively and her legal complaint that she's filed against her It Ends With Us co-star, Justin Baldoni. Yes, the It Ends With Us movie drama does in fact not end. What's interesting about this story to me is the Justin Baldoni of it all. He is a self-proclaimed male male feminist, he's woke, he speaks out against sexual assault and sexual harassment, even toxic masculinity, and now in this legal complaint filed by Blake Lively, he's being accused of sexual harassment.
I challenge you to see if you can use the same qualities that you feel make you a man to go deeper into yourself. And will you be man enough to stand up to other men when you hear locker room talk, when you hear stories of sexual harassment, when you hear your boys talking about grabbing ass or getting her drunk? Will you actually stand up and do something so that one day we don't have to live in a world where a woman has to risk everything and come forward to say the words "me too"?
This is gonna be really awkward if these allegations are true. I will say, just for the record, I'm not a fan of either of these individuals, and something about both of them rubs me the wrong way.
Followed by an attempted PR takedown of her to cover his own ass from people finding out what he did to her. In an article titled "We Can Bury Anyone," Blake Lively heroically shared her story, and the world was on her side because it looked like she was just trying to take down a predator in Hollywood. So Justin Baldoni and his ace lawyer launched an all-cylinder fire attack to clear his name, and he started by suing the New York Times, saying that article was just published because it was paid for by Ryan Reynolds, and it was a multi-layered scheme planned out by Blake and Ryan to take down Justin. And I think it's pretty common knowledge that the mainstream media will lie on behalf of their powerful friends or anyone who pays them off to say certain things.
Additionally, Matthew Lawrence, known for his roles in Boy Meets World and Mrs. Doubtfire, shared on his Brotherly Love podcast that Reynolds had conflicts with producers and directors during the 1998 film Bolt Neck. Lawrence noted that Reynolds' behavior, including disputes over creative differences and alleged impersonations of other actors, frustrated the Oscar-nominated crew and negatively impacted the film.
Looks like a pattern is emerging as I found this blind item from July of 2024 stating that Ryan Reynolds completely iced out his co-star, Morena Baccarin, I think it is, and she was not included in any of the promotion for Deadpool and Wolverine. And when you think back to it, yeah, she wasn't. And if you look at the red carpet photos, she's pictured all alone by herself, not with any of the other cast. Just like what Blake did to Justin. So I wonder what the disagreement was there. I wonder if she was questioning some of the jokes in the movie. And of course, Ryan's ego couldn't take it. I'm sure there's some ironclad NDA in there and we'll never know what happened. But the promos and the videos don't lie. She wasn't in any of them with the cast. She was all alone by herself. I'm just hoping she wasn't sent to the basement.
Recent reports suggest that Robert Downey Jr. has turned down an offer from Ryan Reynolds to appear in Deadpool and Wolverine. Fans had speculated that Downey's iconic Tony Stark Doris Iron Man could make a cameo in the highly anticipated Marvel film, especially with the MCU exploring multiverse storylines. However, sources claim that the actor politely declined the opportunity, possibly due to his commitment to moving beyond his Marvel role after Avengers Endgame. While neither Reynolds nor Downey has publicly addressed the rumors, this news has disappointed fans who were hoping to see the legendary Iron Man share the screen with Deadpool and Wolverine.
Robert Downey Jr., after a 5-year break, is returning to Marvel, but before he did that, he actually turned down Ryan Reynolds. Making the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, Hugh Jackman told Ryan Reynolds in 2021 he'd return as Wolverine after saying 4 years earlier he'd never come back doing the movie Logan. It was one of the most cameo-filled movies in history, where 45 different actors from both the MCU and the Fox universe returned for Deadpool and Wolverine. But one actor Ryan Reynolds asked to return for Deadpool and Wolverine was Robert Downey Jr., saying he wanted him to share a scene with Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau does actually have a very big scene in the movie Deadpool and Wolverine, but that scene was originally written with Robert Downey Jr. taking the main stage and Jon Favreau only being a small part of it. He even wrote the scene in 2018 just so it would make sense for Robert Downey Jr.'s character to be in there because it does take place before the events of Avengers Infinity War. When Ryan Reynolds approached Robert Downey Jr. with the script, he said he was completely shocked he got an instant no. The reason was Robert Downey Jr. was already in talks to return as Dr. Doom, but he couldn't tell Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds said he didn't know about that until it was revealed, but now is happy for him and said he wants to fight him in Secret Wars. We'll get to see them together on screen eventually. With that, I'm Charles Pro. Subscribe to learn something.
Quentin Tarantino, renowned for his candid critiques of Hollywood trends, has expressed his disinterest in directing superhero films, a genre closely associated with actors like Ryan Reynolds, known for his portrayal of Deadpool. Tarantino has compared the dominance of superhero movies in today's cinema to the prevalence of studio musicals in the 1960s, suggesting that many filmmakers can't wait for the day they can say the same about superhero films. He remarked, "You have to be a hired hand to do those things. I'm not a hired hand. I'm not looking for a job."
I mean, I used to collect Marvel comic books. I loved Marvel comic books. If all this was coming out in '86, I would be all down with it. Met a kid I'd never met before at a party the other day. He asked me about what I felt about superhero movies. You know, he's talking about how he saw the first Iron Man when he was 4. To him, Marvel movies and DC movies are movies. And there's been actually almost no competition to show him that there can be anything else. So going to the movies means going to see those movies.
What do you think about Ice Cube's claims against Ryan Reynolds? Do you believe Hollywood is controlled by certain celebrities? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.